Guys, what's going on? So I hope you guys are well. Hope you guys are staying safe. Hope everything's good wherever you guys are. Yesterday, obviously, we had that great fight between Beterbiev and Anthony Yarde. You know, respect to Yarde. Yarde came in, put in a great performance. A lot of people, said Beterbiev was exposed and Beterbiev looked 38 years of age. I mean, I just want to make a point here. Is that when Golovkin used to fight, people used to say the same thing about him. Oh, he looks old, he gets hit a lot, this, that, the other. People always used to look... I feel like there's no respect for skilled pressure fighters in boxing. I feel like the only fighters that get respected are the ones that are slick, the ones that don't get hit, the ones that move and I feel like they're the only boxers that get respected by a majority of some people that say hardcore boxing fans. And apparently that if you're a skilled pressure fighter, there's a way to beat you, and eventually you're going to get beaten by somebody that's a skilled boxer, which is absolute BS. And I think Golovkin's career proved that, because Golovkin came up against a skilled fighter in Canelo, who some people may disagree and say he's not skilled, which he is. And Golovkin, in my opinion, definitely won the first fight. The second fight was very close. And then obviously the third fight, he was washed up. But I mean, Golovkin proved throughout his whole career, you could have put the skilled of skilled fighters against Golovkin, and Golovkin would have found a way to hunt him down, break him down. And I don't think these type of fighters are given enough credit, because they're very rare. Firstly, they're a rare breed. You don't see fighters like Beterbiev and Bivol, because firstly, you don't get that kind of skill, that kind of power, and that kind of being able to close off the ring on their opponents. And I feel like they're very disrespected. Golovkin had it throughout his career, and Beterbiev's having it now. Beterbiev's been in with majority, and to be honest, at light heavyweight, Beterbiev's done better work than Bivol. And Beterbiev has wiped out everybody that he's faced. And he kind of, the pattern of his fights kind of go the same way. A lot of guys have success against him. They hit him, sometimes even hurt him. But Beterbiev finds a way to grind him down and then eventually stop him. Because he suffocates you. He doesn't allow any breathing space. He's on top of you, hitting you with hard shots. And a lot of people think that Bivol, who's a very skilled fighter, without doubt, will outbox and beat Beterbiev. And I find that, I'll say this about that, is that Bivol is a great fighter. There's no doubt about it. But every great fighter needs space. And Bivol is a guy that likes to box at range, right? I want you to go back and watch the Canelo-Alvarez fight. A lot of people seem to think that Bivol totally outclassed and battered Canelo. Go back and watch that fight when Canelo had Bivol on the ropes, hitting Bivol with uppercuts, hitting Bivol with shots on the arm. And Bivol's arm at the end of the fight was red. There was many moments in that fight where Canelo was having a lot of success. But it was, for some reason, I don't know why, there's a lot of fans that just overlook that and say Canelo was outclassed. Canelo wasn't physically strong enough, or he didn't have enough power to hurt Bivol. Right? Canelo isn't a natural pressure fighter. Canelo's a counter-puncher. He's not a natural pressure fighter. He's become that over time. He's become better at that. He's become better at, his feet have become more educated. And he's become much better at being a pressure fighter. But naturally, he's not a pressure fighter. Beterbiev is a natural pressure fighter. Golovkin is a natural pressure fighter. And there was moments in that fight where, one thing I will say is that Canelo's hands are quicker than Beterbiev's. Much quicker. Canelo's feet are not much quicker than Beterbiev. And Canelo was able to close the ring off on Bivol and forcing him onto the ropes and landing a lot of uppercuts, landing a lot of shots on Dmitry Bivol. Go back and watch it. He did. There was moments in that fight where Canelo was having success. Now, the difference is, if Beterbiev finds that success, Beterbiev's shots and physical strength is going to have a lot more impact on Bivol than Canelo was able to do. Because Beterbiev is a much bigger man. He's a much bigger puncher. The only difference is Canelo's a lot slicker than Beterbiev. Canelo moves his head more. He doesn't get hit as much. But if Bivol doesn't really have the power to hurt Beterbiev, it's not going to be that easy for Bivol to last the distance. It's very difficult to go the distance with someone like Beterbiev because he suffocates you, drowns you, makes it very difficult for you. Irrespective, Bivol's only going to be able to move so much. That moving is going to stop as well when Beterbiev is hitting you with a lot of shots, powerful shots, when he's got you on the ropes, because they're going to be zapping your energy. So the moving, when someone's zapping your energy, the moving stops as well. You're not able to move as much. When a guy's hitting and hurting you, when a guy is making a dent in you, you're not going to move as much because his punches are affecting you. So this narrative about Bivol is just going to outclass Beterbiev, I don't buy it. Because Bivol is going to need space, and Bivol is going to have to fight Beterbiev at distance, and he's going to have to control the pace of the fight. Beterbiev doesn't allow that. Beterbiev doesn't allow you to box at distance. Beterbiev likes to... As soon as you start going back against Beterbiev, you're in banging trouble. As soon as you start going that way against Beterbiev, right, and if the fight's not in the center of the ring, the fight's it's going to be done. Yeah, you might be able to take punishment. You might be able to do it for so long. But eventually, Beterbiev is going to wear you down. It's 12 rounds. It's 36 minutes. It's a long time to be in there with a guy that hits very hard. That's backing you up, suffocating you, making it very hard for you to breathe. It's very difficult for you to be able to last. And that's what I think is going to happen to Dmitry Bivol as well. And it's not anything about Bivol's skill. I just feel that this guy is impossible to fight. Don't get brainwashed, or don't look at him getting hit with shots. Don't look at that, because that's not going to make much of a difference if you can't hurt him. If Beterbiev is still walking you down, if you're not able to hurt him, how are you gonna be able to stop him from coming forward? Because at the end of the day, no man in the light heavyweight division is going to be able to absorb that kind of punishment and that kind of that kind of physical strength that is zapping the energy. It doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, because the skill goes out the window when he's got you on the ropes. Right? Bivol is going to have to constantly move, which zaps a lot of energy. Then when you're in there with a guy that's a big puncher that can wipe your lights out with one punch, right, that's making you move more, because Bivol's going to move even more than what he does with other fighters, because he's going to have to. So this narrative about Bivol is just going to outclass and beat Beterbiev, I don't see it. Because for me, Beterbiev is a very skilled puncher, and he's going to close the ring off on you. And he's a lot faster than what people think. And Anthony Yarde found that out. Anthony Yarde was saying he's slow, this, that, the other. How many shots did he land on Anthony Yarde? And to be honest, Anthony Yarde early on in the fight was making him miss. And I believe Bivol will do the same. But it's a 12-round fight. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And how is Bivol going to be able to last the distance against someone that dangerous, against someone that powerful, someone that strong, physically strong? And a guy that I believe, people said Beterbiev chinny. I believe Beterbiev's got a very good chin. The only thing is Beterbiev gets hit a lot. He doesn't have a lot of head movement. If Bivol isn't able to hurt Beterbiev, I don't think he can outbox him for 12 rounds. I think it's very difficult to do. Very difficult, because you're in there with a skilled pressure fighter. And like I said to you before, guys like Golovkin, guys like Beterbiev, it doesn't matter how skilled you are, you're going to be in trouble, because they're very skilled pressure fighters. Pressure fighters that can punch, that are very skilled, like Beterbiev and Golovkin, they are a nightmare for anyone. Whether you're Floyd Mayweather, whether you're Canelo Alvarez, whether you're Manny Pacquiao, a skilled power punching pressure fighter are the hardest fighters to have to face. Because they don't just zap your energy with your punch. It's the fact that you as a fighter know that he can punch, and you know that he punches hard. You know that you don't want to take many shots, and it's the mental pressure that they absorb when they're moving forward. Mental and physical pressure that they're enforcing onto you, and I just think that is very, very difficult for anyone, no matter how skilled you are. And this is why I say, to beat Beterbiev, you're going to have to put a dent in him, and I mean crack him. Crack him with something big, right? And then finish him off. I think that's the only way. I don't think you can outbox this guy for 12 rounds because I think he's going to get to you. It's a 12-round fight. Bivol in his fight slows down as well. Joe Smith late on in the fight caught Bivol. He's going to get to you. He's going to get to you. And it's how you're able to absorb his power. You're able to, you know, keep your energy stores up. Because if your energy starts to drop, this man's going to pounce and wipe you out. Honestly, I think Beterbiev will beat him. I think Beterbiev will beat Bivol. And I think he'll not just beat him, I think he'll knock him out. Because I think if it goes the distance, I think Bivol will win. But I just don't think Beterbiev will allow it to go the distance, because I saw enough in that Canelo fight for me to know that that Canelo had a lot of success in that fight. Canelo just wasn't physically strong enough or had the punch power to really put a dent in Dmitry Bivol. Beterbiev will, and that's the problem for Bivol. See, what you got to understand is we're judging Bivol of what we've seen him against so far. None of the guys that he's fought, in Canelo included, have the power or the physical strength of a Beterbiev. Beterbiev is a very, very big light heavyweight. He's probably the biggest light heavyweight. Him and Yard are massive. And he was able to grind, what's his name? Yard down. He was able to grind Yard down. And I believe he'll be able to grind Bivol down as well. I think it'll be very hard for Bivol to be able to last the distance with this guy. And anyone for that matter. And I even said guys like Ward, guys like that, because the guy's very powerful and he keeps coming forward, and he's got a good chin as well. People say he's got, we don't know. Of course, guys like that can be put over, but he's got a good chin. He's strong. He's mentally strong. He's tough. He's teak tough. And he's skilled as well. He comes forward. He can fire on the back foot. His jabs are so punishing. His jab, you could tell when he was hitting Yard with the jab that it was having a big impact on Yard. This guy is no joke, and people need to start putting more respect on Beterbiev's name. And I was one that probably at time thought that, you know, I'm not sure, but now I see it. I see Beterbiev as one of the best pressure fighters we've had in the last 15, 20 years. Him and Golovkin, for me, stand in a league of their own. And I think both those guys, probably Golovkin didn't get a lot of credit. You know, when he was in his prime, people say, oh, he gets hit a lot. And I think Beterbiev is having to go through the same thing. But I think Beterbiev will, the difference is I think Beterbiev will beat Bivol. And I think he will beat most of the guys that in the. I think he beat everyone in the light heavy division. I think he might even move up to cruiserweight and maybe do something there. But yeah, leave your thoughts, guys. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Love to know your opinion, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.